Okay, fam, it has been a year since our, I guess we can say, iconic theme beat that we've used that everyone loves, but it has come time to retire it. We have a new beat that we're going to drop by one of my good buddies who is Grammy Award-winning producer, The Real Agony on Instagram. Agony, the king of the beats, made this beat for Road Trippin' with the Rudes, and it'll be our theme song from here on out. So until he wants to refresh a beat and give us another one. So
let me tell you, we are beyond honored. Ag is signed to Darkchild and has created some of my favorite songs, from Justin Bieber to Ariana Grande. I still play his song. His beats are just so iconic and so authentic to who he is. So the fact that he takes time out of his busy life to make beats for us and for Ella, just beyond honored. So thanks, guys, for riding with us all along. But you know, every good car ride, you gotta switch it up sometimes. You can't keep the song on repeat, y'all.
Yep.
So I hope you guys enjoy it.
It's another banger.
Right.
Trust and believe.
Yeah, so definitely comment down below on what your thoughts are for the new beat.
So, rolling the intro with the new beat. What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin' with the Rudes.
Hi, guys, and if this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video, as we will have more coming your way. If you've been riding with us all along, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, it is time for the Rudes Real Review, Episode 6. If you are new to this channel, we do not discuss what we think. So the entire time, we're silent.
Silentio.
Until we're with you. Corey's cracking himself up. I will tell you.
Now we're here with you.
Listen, when I say the bomb diggity.
The bomb diggity.
This was the bomb diggity episode. The lines on my lips are harsh, like the 90s were. You know, trying to give you 90s vibes, the craft vibes, half-baked vibes. But, you know, there was a lot of powder in the 90s. I'm not talking about 80s powder. Shout out to Studio 54. I'm talking about powder on our faces. Every girl had the MAC compact and applied way too much powder. But all in all,
I don't know what she's talking about, but okay.
The 90s were a great decade. This gave me every single bit of 90s nostalgia.
I don't know if it did for me. I didn't get no 90s nostalgia.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
What did you think the intro was?
I don't know, some show I never watched.
Okay, guys. The intro, Malcolm in the Middle.
Again,
straight up Malcolm in the Middle. And you've got to think about this. Malcolm in the Middle came out in the later 90s. This was post one of my, it's so crazy because I don't like this genre now, but one of my like most iconic series in the 90s, which was The Real World. Real World season 1 premiered in like 92. And then all of TV was trying to catch up with reality TV.
Yep.
So that's why you see the kids talking to the camera and stuff like they did in Malcolm in the Middle. And like...
Never watched it.
Did you watch the Real World?
Of course.
Season 1, they could have just shut it down after season 1, I'm just saying.
Nah.
Heather B? What?
No, that was a good season.
Norm, Julie, Eric, Andre, Kevin Powell. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. Now he's like a hip-hop historian. Anytime that there's anything that's being questioned about hip-hop, you see Kevin Powell being interviewed.
Okay.
Heather B, you can find her with Sway in the morning. Norman's still a famous artist.
Mm-hmm.
Julie went back to Alabama. I digress, guys. TV networks were trying to catch up. They were like, wait a minute, we went from live from a studio audience to people just wanting reality TV. So I think this was great because stuff for Wanda and Westview started to get real. So let's go with where episode 5 left off at.
Okay. It left off with Quicksilver coming to the door.
Not just any Quicksilver. The X-Men Quicksilver. Which was like amazing. This episode, in kind of like the Malcolm in the Middle theme, kind of highlighted the boys talking. So you have Billy and Tommy going back and forth. You have their slouch uncle.
Was that part of Malcolm in the Middle too?
What?
Like the uncle?
No, this is what I was going to say. So they had their slouch uncle who was still giving you Full House vibes, right? I don't think Jesse was that lazy. I don't remember. But that's kind of like the play that they're giving. Almost like a Fonzie vibe, Uncle Jesse type vibe. So they're talking, playing around, going back and forth. And it's very clear. Pietro is not trying to be that nurturing uncle. He doesn't have time. He just has what he wants.
Fun uncle.
He's not a funkle.
Why not?
I don't know.
He definitely is.
I think he's like kind of edgy. But then here comes Wanda in an homage to her original costume getup.
Yes. Yep. So that was the Scarlet Witch original costume.
From the comics.
From the comics, yes. Right. And then enters Vision with his original comic book costume.
Yes. On. And I remember the kids, like, Billy wanted to say, Mom, you're cool. He's like, what is that? And she's like, I'm a Sokovian fortune teller. And, Pietro goes, that outfit is, and I think the kids want to say cool or rad.
He did.
Totally awesome,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he goes, lame.
Right.
Just like a brother. But she moves past it. I think it's crazy. I love the fact that they tie in the MCU to the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were looking at her Halloween costume, you're like, what the heck's going on? Go back to the comic books. And I think you're going to have to after this series. Vision comes down in his classic. Now, was this his gear in the Wanda comics or
No, that was his gear in his comics.
He looks crazy, y'all. Those shorts
That's
look
just
crazy.
what he wore. That's what he wore in all the comics.
And so, okay, here's the thing, too. Pietro doesn't care. He does not discriminate. He comes at Vision. He's like, who are you supposed to be?
Yeah.
He's like a stop sign?
A traffic light.
Traffic light? Because Vision had the red face and he had the yellow and green outfit. Then he was like, shuck corn? Who are you supposed to be? Meanwhile, Vision's trying to have a conversation with his wife. He's like, excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? Because she's like, oh, you look so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this is all I had in my closet.
Right. That was the only outfit.
So that gives us a lot of insight because in the second episode, and if you haven't seen our review for that, definitely check it out. In the second episode, second or third, he has a suit, but he looks a little disheveled. Remember the collar was sticking out?
Yep.
So he doesn't get to choose what he wears. But he's getting a little frazzled.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, even his stone is off in the mask. Did you see that? It's it's like my curls, guys. And our curls weren't right in the 90s. They were a little off. So he's got like this, and it's like off to the side looking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to bark on her.
Nah. He's just ready to go out and explore and see what's going on.
He's ready to bark. And she's excited because it's the children's first Halloween. They're going this year. Halloween fell on a weekend. Wanda and her boys are trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I'm going. And she's looking at him like, don't walk away, boy. My love won't hurt you. Comment down below if you know that song. What did you get from that?
I got that Vision was literally going off script because she stopped herself. She said, that's not what you're supposed to say or something like that. And Vision's like, what? And then she tried to play it off like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, okay, whatever you say, but...
He said, you are incomparable, darling. Like, very... I don't think Vision ever talked to Wanda like that, so it's like coming across even fake.
Kind of, yeah. But I think he talked to her like that, like in Infinity War. I think when they were in the hotel room and all that stuff, they were having like normal conversations.
His sarcasm, like very, I don't know. You could tell he's very much over it.
He is. He wants to figure out what's going on. That was basically his mission this episode. Is like, let me figure out what's going on.
Right.
So he tells Wanda that he is part of Neighborhood Watch. And he's going to fight crime out there and keep everybody away. Which he speaks on kids. Which it wasn't any kids prior to this episode.
Didn't he ask her? Like, he asked her. He said, last episode.
Yeah.
He said, Wanda, where are all the children?
Yeah.
Shout out to Children of the Corn.
Yeah, now it's a city full of children.
Yeah.
In Westview, there's a town full of children.
Yes.
And it's trick-or-treating. It's Halloween. So, Quicksilver and Tommy, they run out to get costumes because they don't have costumes. So, they speed out the door, come back in the classic Quicksilver costume. And that is like, sort of like Speed's costume. Speed's costume sort of looks like that too.
Here's the thing too, like, Pietro is very much so filling in, right? He's like, don't worry about it. You need a male figure? I'm here.
Yep.
So it's almost as if Wanda is preparing herself for Vision to disconnect.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's bucking against everything she says.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like Pietro is coming in as a backup. Oh, don't worry about it. Now, at this point, when you see them speed back and forth, you're kind of looking like, all right, so Tommy's going to have Pietro's power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Billy's still chilling.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but I have to a little bit. I noticed Agnes wasn't around. She pulls up to the house. Like, anytime Wanda got something going on, she's at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, right away, she was noticeably missing for me in that scene where they're in the house. She always showed up at the house in every episode.
So, one of the things that I was thinking of is the fact that, so Agnes is always around. Agnes is actually in the intro, the Malcolm in the Middle intro.
Yes.
Very briefly, shout out to her Juicy Couture velour sweatsuit that had naughty across the butt.
Right, yep.
One time for J-Lo.
Yep.
So you knew that she was around. I think, though, one of the things is that Agnes always hears what's going on. No matter what Agnes's agenda is, when stuff got real between Vision and Wanda at the end of episode 5,
mm-hmm.
no matter what your agenda is, you're thinking, I'm gonna die. I'm about to die. So let me try to get out of here.
Mm.
So I think it's a battle of the subconscious and the conscious, like going back and forth. Like, okay, been real. Let me just back up my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the vibe I was getting by not seeing her.
Yep.
We see our man Herb.
Later, yes, we do. But they leave out, and then it cuts to the sword agents, right? Hayward's out there giving out mad bars. He's talking crazy.
First of all, Hayward's right. Guys, I keep looking down because I took notes because
copious
notes, as I always do.
Let's hear it.
Hayward had some very uncomfortable bars.
Very.
And what we had said before, it was very clear that the return of Monica Rambeau was not in his big scheme of things.
Yeah, okay.
We knew that, and we knew that his energy with her was off, but he made it very clear.
He confirmed it this
He made
episode.
it very clear.
Yep.
And then he did the ultimate.
What'd he do?
He brought up her mom.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's a good thing you were snapped when your mother died.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't have been able to make the tough decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. And it solidifies him. Everybody knows he's some type of bad guy, right? It solidified that right there. And I'm going on a limb. I don't want to say he's Mephisto.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that.
But he
I never, ever had given him enough Mephisto credit until this episode.
Yeah.
Where I was starting to look at, like, first of all, who put the battery pack in your back?
Yes.
To come at Monica Rambeau? Do you not know who she is? Who the F she is?
And look.
She should have hit him with the proton pimp slap.
Someone has to be... Well, first of all, he had Vision bugged. Like, he had a tracker on Vision.
Right. So he was doing more from a technology standpoint
on the outside
than Darcy even knew. And I feel like Darcy's the one that has a really strong grasp on the technology side of things. So he hits Wanda with he hits Monica Rambeau with some hurtful bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then dismisses them.
Yeah. Listen, I think
Hey, take them.
Yeah.
And the sword agents didn't even hesitate.
Well, he knows they're getting close. He knows that Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy are getting close to figuring out what's going on.
But it seemed
He's like, get him out of here.
There was no resistance from anyone. It just seemed like, who knows how much work he's done while Monica was gone.
We don't know.
With controlling them.
Yeah.
Because no one was like, hey, wait, hold up. They just scurried her off.
Right.
Like, guys, you reported to her mother for how long?
Yeah.
Where's your loyalty?
Yeah. I can
I'm
see
just
that.
asking.
Yeah, so it's definitely... Hayward could actually be Ralph. We haven't seen Ralph. He could be Ralph.
Who, in turn, in my mind, is Mephisto.
Right.
So, Hayward might be doing 3 roles.
Yeah, he's outside. Somebody's controlling something from the outside. And
but who's his technology person? Because I don't see him as being able to, I guess his powers is Mephisto, to bug. Because they get kicked out.
Well, remember, last episode when Wanda picks up, she goes into Still Vision's body, they took his body apart.
Yeah. Yep.
The scientist was in there working on that body.
Doing the exact opposite of what Vision.
Yeah.
So they did not.
And remember, he says that though. Hayward says that, like, you mean to tell me Wanda's going against Vision's wishes?
He was being super sarcastic with that, right? Super snarky.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have that. He sends them away. Of course, they do the double back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because these 3 are very, very much on the same page.
Yep.
So, Darcy goes, whoa, you got a red dot on your head. I got a red dot on my head too. No, really. But there were dots on this board. And she's like, wait a minute. He's got a tracker on Vision.
Yep.
And then she sees other dots. He's got a tracker on everyone in the town.
No, I don't think he has the one on everyone. It's whoever's within proximity of Vision he can see. That's what she said. It was like proximity.
Comment down below what your thoughts were, because what Darcy then noticed was as you look, you'll see some people moving, and then some people were not moving.
And Jimmy Woo was like, are they still alive? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Yep.
So at this point, Darcy's blowing everyone's mind. And Jimmy Wu-Tang is like, what's really good?
Mm-hmm.
We flash back to Vision cruising through the hood in his 6'4". And he is going further than I think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Of the town.
Yeah. So
first, as he's creeping, right?
Yeah, but first, that told me that Wanda's powers isn't as strong. Well, maybe not. I don't want to say not as strong, but she's not using them as much as we thought she was.
So this is what I thought, right? as he's creeping and he's creeping and he's creeping, things slow up. And I feel like it's like an energy reserve, right? So she put them on low battery mode.
Yeah.
Right? And he starts, you hear somebody say to him, Happy Halloween, right? And then Vision seeing people. And he's going rogue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it's like, all right, we're just going to keep this little area active for wherever Vision's at.
Right.
But now that he went off script,
right,
he's basically off script at this point in Wanda's mind, right? So she don't know what to do.
Right.
So the town square is buzzing because that's where everybody's supposed to be. Outside and in the further reaches from away from the town square, they're just there. People are there. The lady's hanging up the ghost, and she's just doing the same movement over and over again.
Yeah.
And she had a tear coming out of her eye. Did you see
She
that?
had the tear coming out of her eye. And before he even saw her, he saw up close children. And he saw a woman with children.
Oh, yeah. And he was like, are these your children? Nobody moved. Nobody said a word.
Now, to her defense,
Stranger
there are
danger?
times... No. There are times where I don't claim my children. You know, when outside was open, guys, weren't there moments... Or maybe it's just me, where your children were acting a little buck wild. And you just wanted to just be an onlooker. Right? Shout out to one of our family members who just absolutely just let somebody believe that their son was their nephew. Because that's how bad they were acting. But so,
yeah.
Right? So the teardrop. Now behind her is... possibly her spouse, I don't know, but behind her is a man that keeps on doing the same motion. So if she thinks this was exhausting, him picking up that pumpkin and putting it in the corner like a million times was beyond draining.
Now that he's seeing that, he's definitely like, all right. He's basically out there like a private eye. He's collecting evidence.
Yep. And absolutely, like we said in the last one, he's becoming more and more... human, and he has more and more ideas of what's going on. So very quickly, that tear, he zoomed in on that tear, and he was like, you know what? It's time for me to raise up.
Yeah, but I wonder why he didn't
tap her.
Yeah.
First of all, if you are in this state already crying, he knows you're in full-blown hysterics. Right? Because he's seen it with the interaction that he had last episode.
Okay.
That he was like, okay.
I can see that. I can see that.
He comes out of his early 70s basketball shorts and into the Vision that we all know and love.
Yeah. But first it goes back to Wanda in the square.
Yes.
And her and Quicksilver, because I mess up his real name, so I'm not
Pietro. Now, is this when Tommy shows his stuff? Remember, this is around when Tommy's like...
Nah, yeah.
Typical child.
Yeah.
Look. And does the same thing a million times, except his is really pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, then... Oh, before that, though. Wanda's talking to Herb. Remember? And he's like... He got a little earpiece in. He's neighborhood watch. He got his earpiece in, and they're telling him stuff's happening. All the candy's gone. Meanwhile, you see Quicksilver and everybody running.
All the jack-o'-lanterns are getting smashed.
Yeah, smashing the jack-o'-lanterns. And Wanda's just standing there like, oh my God.
Right. And we see the buzzing. So we see the fast buzzing. Can we just acknowledge the amazing job they did with Herb's costume?
Yeah, that was crazy. It didn't even look like him.
I know Corey was real nostalgic about that box.
I was, though. My box used to be high.
So, fun fact, if you don't, be sure to follow us on Instagram. This week is Bippity Boppity Black Week when they're talking about soul. They talk about different haircuts. Corey's father used to be a barber. Corey used to have all the...
He still is a barber.
He still is, yes. But he can retire at any time. But... that was one of his 4 jobs. You used to have all of the different haircuts, all of the different
little symbols in the back
and
of my head.
So
yeah.
I know he was his face lit up.
Yeah. So after all of that, Wanda's like, get Vision on it.
Yeah, Vision can help you.
Yeah, Vision can help you. He's like, what you talking about? He's like, yo, Vision's part of the neighborhood watch, right? He's like, nah, Vision ain't part of this.
He's not on duty.
So now Wanda
today.
don't know what to think.
So Herb completely doesn't pick up on anything, right? So he's like completely rats Vision out. And then he goes, Wanda, do you need me to change something?
Yeah.
Right? So Herb's like, I'm up next. I'm trying to get chose.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any point where Herb in the other episodes felt empowered.
Right.
So he was like, I'm not going to waste my shot.
Yeah. So now Wanda's like,
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm thinking she's in her head like, I gotta find where Vision's at.
Right. At this point, though, then we zoom to commercial, which is the only commercial.
I don't know. Let me hear what your thoughts is.
Okay, so first of all, it's the first time where there aren't the male and female, which may or may not be Wanda's parents, and I will tell you why I think they are in a moment when we get to Wanda and Pietro's conversation. Okay. But it was a typical 90s. Like, guys, claymation was a thing. Shout out to Gumby. And so the commercial was a claymation. It was like, a yogurt that's probably like 90% sugar because that's,
it was giving me Danimals vibes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, definitely was. And the shark comes up. There's a boy alone on an island. And he's like, I'm starving. And the shark's like, I used to starve too, but then I got yo magic.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's like, can I have one? So almost like, more porridge, please, right? Mm-hmm. And then he tries to open it. And then it just took a morbid morbid left turn.
Day and night, night and day.
And he's starving trying to open it. And guys, not for nothing, certain packaging is just unnecessary. So I feel his pain when I'm trying to open up like the Claritins and stuff like that. So anyway, he tries to open it and he dies. And it's like, hey, what's it say for survival or something? Use yo magic. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a message, a subliminal message. Wanda, you need to step your game up and use your magic. Vision, you need to use your magic and see what's going on. And Billy and Tommy, it's time for your magical debut.
See, I didn't get that at all.
What did you get?
I thought it was basically showing how the characters in Westview feel. She's using yo magic on them and they can't do anything but sit there in a withered state and die. Yeah.
So, did the yo magic trigger anything for you?
Yo mama.
Yo MTV Raps.
Oh.
Yo MTV Raps was birthed in the 90s. Shout out to Fab Five Freddy. I still remember the NWA episode. Shout out to my East Coast
Yeah, that was
peeps.
crazy.
Shout out to my East Coast peeps. We didn't know y'all were crazy until that Yo MTV Raps in the back of the pickup truck. Mm-hmm. We thought New York was crushing all buildings.
Yeah, no, that episode.
So I thought, okay, that was a tribute to Yo MTV Raps.
Okay, nah, I was thinking Yo Mama.
Yo Mama jokes?
Yeah. But that was the sign that I was getting from it. Like, yo, day and night, every day, I'm going through the same thing. I'm trying to open
That's true, like Groundhog's Day, right?
Yeah. And I'm just going to sit here and die. And that's probably how they're feeling. That's why everybody's sitting there crying, when they see him, or they're panicking when Vision sees them, like after he touches them, whatever. That's what I got from the commercial. I don't know.
I think the crying, I'm glad that you brought up the crying because I think they're like the ish is hitting the fan. I almost wonder if very similar to like how we're watching the series within a series, right? So we're watching the Sword agents watch Wanda and Vision as Wanda creates these episodes. Mm-hmm. Do the townspeople get to watch? Because we know Agatha's scared, right? We know Agatha is I don't say we know Agatha's scared. Agatha's trying to get out of Dodge, right? Maybe. And the woman is crying. I think that they are feeling that anxiety because one of the things that Monica Rambeau said is she felt Wanda's pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that all under Wanda's control can feel a degree of her pain, and as it intensifies, I'm sure it intensifies for them.
Okay.
Because when Monica Rambeau said that, there were a few touches where, you know, Monica makes it very clear, I understand how she feels. Mm-hmm. Not only because she was, you know, being controlled by Wanda, but she had also experienced that loss.
Yep.
So then we go back to Wanda and Pietro.
Yep. And they're
Billy
walking over.
and Tommy.
They're walking in front of a movie theater that has Incredibles.
Yes.
Which did the Incredibles come out in the late 90s?
No, but I thought it was super dope because it was a Disney movie about a family of supers. Okay. So I got that,
and it was the Parent Trap.
The Parent Trap.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've got a theory on that.
Okay, let me hear it. I don't have no theories.
So, all right, let's go to where. So Tommy is already dressed like Pietro, and they're kind of like that same snarkiness, and you know Tommy refers to Billy as a Dorkosaurus Rex or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're like, Mom, they're giving out whole candy bars over down the street, which was giving me Goonies vibes for whatever reason. And then Tommy, whoop, quick, gets it, comes back. So Wanda's like, oh, good job. And pace yourself.
Was like chip off the old Maximoff block.
Yes. So we're seeing, okay, Tommy has Pietro's gift.
Mm-hmm.
And then later we see that Billy taps into his gift, which is very similar to Wanda.
Yeah.
So you have Vision, who's their dad, who is trapped, right?
Which obviously his powers must be more sensitive than Wanda's, because why didn't Wanda?
So this was the thing. So at first when I saw Parent Trap, I thought, okay, call Mari, because Vision is not the baby's father. Right?
Yeah,
I thought, okay, I'm not seeing any of Vision's qualities in the boys.
It is.
You are seeing Maximoff.
100%.
So then you have flashback to Sword, right? They get this information.
Well, hold on. You got to talk about the conversation between Wanda and Quicksilver, because he was saying, you know, the last thing I remember is being shot like a little chump in the street.
Yes.
And then I heard your voice calling for me, and then I was here.
Yeah, so, and guys, we keep going back and forth because, again, we are
so
filming
much.
Immediately after, you know, watching it, and there is so much. So, you know, he says to her, he's like, they're sitting on haystacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you see? And he's like, who knew that Westview, New Jersey could be so cozy or so inviting, right?
And he said, our parents would love it here.
And he then starts kind of peeling back the layers. And he says, you did really good.
Right.
Right?
He's very conscious.
Right. Our parents, I think our parents would have loved it. And she says, you think so? And that, to me, is his way of being her subconscious and saying, bring back our parents.
Oh.
So I think we didn't see the male and female in the commercials this episode because they are coming back because they are her mama and papa, at least the ones that she knows, right?
I like that.
So he's being a good brother, right? You could talk to your siblings about things, about life. And he said to her earlier in the episode, you know, I think you basically have covered over a lot of trauma, or I think you know, are in denial about a lot of trauma. But he says, so what made you do this? But he's very complimentary to her.
Yeah. Do you think?
So she's not defensive. She's open.
So do you think she's not using her powers on him, or do you think he's just immune? to her
Absolutely,
power.
but he's able to communicate with her, and so as she's making up these scenarios, she only knows how to do the relationship that she knows from her brother. I think these are conversations she would have. So he's like, what made you do this? What? And she's like, I don't know.
And he was like, he was saying it in a nice way because he's like, you didn't use your little red little thingy things to give
This
people.
is definitely an upgrade.
Yeah,
You're
to
not
give
giving
nightmares.
nightmares. You're
Yeah.
not giving nightmares. You're not doing red ringly things. So he's saying to her, what did it? And she said, I felt complete emptiness. And, I felt nothing. And that is what everyone has said. Anyone that she has touched, that vision has touched, has admitted to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she, when she says, I felt nothing, I had nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
They took everything. She doesn't say they took everything, but that's kind of letting the beat build. Who does that make you think of?
When they said they took everything?
Well, she never said they took everything, but she basically said, I felt empty. I felt nothingness.
Who?
Magneto.
There we go.
Magneto. So I think it opens the door and creates the parallel between her and her father, Magneto.
I definitely think Magneto's showing up.
Magneto's got to show up. And I think that's why. He is the only one that can relate to that level of emptiness. And because of that, she turns and she cries. She has a moment of, genuine tears.
Yeah.
And then she looks at Pietro. And Pietro basically says, they shot me 5 times. Real G's don't die. You see Pietro with his Sokovian shots through his body. He is gray. So clearly, she brought him back to life.
You think she brought him back to life?
She shakes it off and then sees him again.
You think she brought him?
I will say this. It was not as jarring to me as seeing Dead Vision.
Right. No, for real. Dead Vision was crazy.
And I think it was because, and I know this might sound crazy, I think it was because it was X-Men Pietro. If it was the Pietro that we saw get shot, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's really dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, but
that wasn't a costume.
Bruh.
That wasn't his Halloween costume.
I get it, but that wasn't the Pietro that got shot. They even showed the real Pietro that got shot in one of her flashbacks at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to see him that way, it was that image. It kind of doesn't make any sense to me.
She controls it because she was able to snap him back.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense to me that it was that image. Because when she talked about her brother, the image that flashed to us was the original Quicksilver. Well, not the original, but the Quicksilver that was in
MCU Quicksilver.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, guys, I thought it was amazing. And then you cannot catch your breath in this episode. They flash back to the Sword Trio, right?
Yep.
And they're like, all right, come on, let's go. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back in. That's what Monica Rambeau says. And Darcy goes, no, you really can't. Hayward has your blood work up. If you go back in this time. And she really she sets up nicely Photon, right? So we know Photon is coming. We know Photon is Monica. She sets that up something real proper like. But then they're like, no, it doesn't matter. We're going. Let's go.
Yeah, and she says she has to meet a guy to get in.
Yes, which is
gotta be. I think it's Reed Richards from Fantastic Four.
Listen, they're going full-fledged combination style.
Yeah, I mean they definitely said it was a scientist with some aerospace background or whatever, and Reed Richards did go to space to do some experiments.
This was the best way they could have introduced X-Men and the mutants and
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, shout out to DMX. X gonna give it to you. They killed it. They really did.
Yeah.
So then they're like, all right, come on, let's go. I gotta meet somebody. Darcy's like, hold on. I'm almost done. And I know something big is behind this. I know something crazy is going on.
Gotta get through the last firewall.
Oh my God. So you get that spy, you know how like you're seeing the download and you're like, oh my God, I hope they get it. I hope they get it. I hope they get it. I absolutely experienced that with Darcy.
Yeah. Yeah. She got it.
And then what did she do?
What did she do?
She sent it to Wu-Tang.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, that's a little... You got to see that. I was looking at her type, and it was Jimmy Woo at FBI.com or something like that.
The Mephisto devil is in the details. And yes, she hurried up. Hopefully, it went through to Woo.
Yeah. She emailed it to Woo, which is good. So we'll know what's going on with that, right?
Then you go back to Vision, who's pulling up.
Yeah, Vision, like, all right, I gotta get out.
He pulls up in the ultimate 90s mom vehicle of Agnes. Agnes had the Volvo station wagon.
Meanwhile, she was on the intersection of Ellis and Rolling Hill.
Yes!
Which is the street that Monica told the boys don't go past.
Don't go past.
Don't go past Ellis Avenue, or was it Avenue or Street? Whatever.
Yeah, Ellis
Don't
Street.
go past that.
Okay, so guys, is Rolling Hill like a reference to like that 90210 kind of Baldwin Hills type thing? Or that was a vibe that I was getting. Let me know if you got the same thing from Rolling Hill. But then he pulls up. So first of all, when I saw the boxed out Volvo, I thought, Agnes, and I get that Wanda changes the vehicles and stuff. I'm like, damn, did Agnes have children? Because, honey, that's the only reason.
She was a babysitter. Remember, she did say that.
That's the only reason for that car.
Well, now Vision sees her. She's just zoned out. And I forgot exactly what he first initially said to her. Do you remember?
I don't know, because it was what she said was so crazy. Because she was like, you're an Avenger.
He said, where you going? And she was like, I'm lost. He's like,
yeah, I was trying to get to town square.
Yeah, he's like, you're lost in the town you grew up in?
Right. And she's like, are you here to help us? You're an Avenger.
Well, that was after he snapped her out of it. He touched her head, and then she was like...
No.
She was like...
Is that after the snap? Because I thought after the snap was her clutching her pearls.
Mm-mm. What do you mean clutching her pearls?
So, I thought she asked him, are you an Avenger? And he's like, who are they?
That was after he touched her.
And then she goes...
Am I dead?
Am I...
Yeah.
Am I dead?
And he's like, why would you say that?
Why would you be dead?
She said, because you're dead.
Right. Which, do you know what that was?
Sixth Sense. I don't know.
Absolutely. I think it was a nod to Sixth Sense.
Okay.
You know, the whole time during Sixth Sense, we thought the little boy had the ability to speak to the dead, and that the psychiatrist was helping him through that, not knowing the whole time that Bruce Willis said psychiatrist was in fact dead. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I thought Sixth Sense is because M. Night Shyamalan, within that movie, used the symbolism of red. Whenever anyone alive was interacting with the dead, it was preceded by a symbolism of red. So be it that there was a red, ring around the doorknob or something. So very WandaVision-like.
Yeah. Oh, no, I got to go back and see what red is sticking out and all that to me.
So Vision doesn't even know, right? So Vision's like, okay, now, it's bad enough I don't remember anything. I don't remember I died.
Right.
But his core being so says...
He didn't even know what the Avengers was. He's
right.
like, what's Avengers?
It's an Avenger.
Yeah.
But he knows, listen, if I'm dead, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So
he's like, I gotta get out.
So then that's when he gets out of his 70s, more 80s style basketball shorts, goes into his regular gear, and then boom, we fly high. Mm-hmm. And he gets the aerial view.
Yep. And I'm guessing from up there he can see nobody's moving here, people moving there. He could probably see the edge of the bubble, I'm guessing. So he comes down. We don't see him come down, but he comes down and he's at the wall. He's at the end of the bubble. He
makes a run for it.
Yeah. And then he gets out.
Now, in the preview, we had thought this whole time someone was holding him back.
Yes, I did. I thought someone was holding his cape back.
I would have appreciated somebody holding him back.
Yeah, he gets out there,
Oh,
and I know for Nicole, it was Infinity War post snap immediately. I know that's what you were
he
thinking.
was starting to lose pieces of
He
himself
was like getting dusted out there.
all over again. And by this point, they catch Darcy in the mix,
Yeah.
right?
Darcy's like, why don't y'all help him?
Why don't
Meanwhile,
y'all
they're
help him?
standing there looking at
So
him.
they're like, wait a minute. So then they handcuff Darcy
Yep.
to an SUV.
Now, as Vision screaming out, Billy hears him.
Billy feels him. Billy
Yeah.
feels him. Wanda is oblivious to this because I think Wanda is doing too much work. Right?
Okay,
She's
is that
working
what you're saying?
I think so. I think there's some things going on. One, Wanda's working overtime.
Trying to hold it together.
Two, she's not in sync with Vision anymore.
Yeah.
And
The boys know it
the
too.
boys, and they say it as they do their Malcolm in the Middle kind of like snippets throughout the episode. But the boys are still the purest form of love that Vision has. Now,
And this is the first time Tommy gets to see Billy's powers because Tommy's
Right.
actually running super fast and he puts his hand out and stops him. He's like, whoa.
you know what? No, this is the 90s. He did not say whoa. He said, talk to the hand.
Nah, he said,
Talk to the hand.
he said, whoa. Yeah.
Listen, I will tell you this much. It was amazing to see that, and it was amazing to see him in touch with him. And I know this. I know that even like sometimes when you and I aren't in sync, Ella is like Corey's hype man. Everything Corey does is amazing, and everything is like,
Yeah,
he's
she's
the
Wanda,
best,
I'm
right?
Vision.
So I get how Billy was able to touch into him. Now at this point, he's like, Mom, you've got to save Dad. Dad's in danger. Dad is dying.
And she even asked, so instead of her tapping into her power, she's like, well, where's he at?
So now, of course, like a problematic brother, she's like, Billy's frantic. Dad is dying.
Man.
And Pietro said,
Your dead husband can't die twice.
I had it, like, he said to her, like, because it was just crazy. He said, don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
She said, oh.
Let me just tell you something. Shout out to the 90s because she gave him sweet chin music. Absolutely laid him out. So even though she knows that he's dead and she brought him back to life, she dismissed him quickly. She didn't care that the townspeople were around, so she completely violated that from Vision.
Yep.
And she's saying, Billy, where is he? What is he saying?
And then she got the red eyes and she expanded the bubble.
Because here's the thing, she can no longer communicate with Vision the way she could. And Vision said it in the beginning of episode 5. He said, we're not in sync.
You can't control me.
You can't control me, and we're not in sync like we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So then she swells up.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
As Vision is losing pieces of himself, trying to get out of the bubble, everyone sees that the bubble is starting to swell. So they jump in their big old SUVs and drive off. Now,
they hung Darcy out the drive.
Yes.
Handcuffed
So
her to the truck.
luckily, Monica and Jimmy Woo are out of Dodge. They've got a good distance.
So far.
They
haven't been in.
Darcy is handcuffed. So we start to see the sword floodlights transform. And their camp become
A circus.
And
the helicopter turning a hot air balloon.
Guys, listen. If you ever want to see...
That was petty of Wanda. She made them clowns, bro. That was crazy.
Was that petty of Wanda or was that petty of Corey when we did our Disney Dream Cruise in Bahamas? Guys, we'll include the link to that video where Corey converted people to clowns.
Yo.
So
I feel like Wanda, clowns are going to clown.
She turned them into clowns. She turned their parking lot into a used car lot. So now we know Vision is going to be all right. We have
he was laying on the ground. He was intact.
He was intact. We have no idea what's going to happen to Darcy. I don't think Darcy's going to become a clown. In the same way that she allowed Monica Rambeau to come in knowing who Monica Rambeau was, I feel as though Darcy will get that same pass. Let's just hope that Jimmy Woo receives the email.
Yeah. That email's going to be key.
I will tell you this much.
Hayward made it out so far from what we could see. We
so
don't
far.
know.
Guys, the week is getting longer and longer. Like, you remember that song, guys? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Listen, I don't want to wait a week.
I know.
I cannot wait. This is going to be beyond epic. Comment down below what your predictions are, what you think we'll see in episode 7. Corey, quickly, what do you predict?
Man, I predict Wanda's going to be very upset. She's going to find Vision. Vision's going to be asking a ton of questions. Quicksilver's going to be feeling some type of way because she blasted him for talking trash. So it's going to be some internal conflict within the family.
I agree.
Like crazy conflict.
I think Quicksilver is going to call on mom and dad, and the real dad is going to show up. In Magneto.
Who's the... Yeah. And
what do siblings do? I'm going to tell dad. I'm going to tell mom.
Yeah. You're right. And Monica is heading to go meet her mystery man. We might get 2 mystery men in one episode. I don't know. No.
I feel like we won't see Magneto until the final episode of the season.
Okay.
If they
final episode is going to be a crazy rumble. Right. I know somebody's going to be fighting.
Here's the thing, guys. We don't look at other people's reviews or reaction videos or anything like that. But we do like to see what those involved with WandaVision have to say. And, the actors of WandaVision have said that we are to expect a Luke Skywalker, Mandalorian type guest appearance.
Yeah. And I'm sure Quicksilver ain't it.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not Luke status.
And, I don't know. This sets up Doctor Strange's movie. Is Doctor Strange going to show up? Doctor Strange could show up.
Doctor Strange is not going to be happy if he has to come to New Jersey.
He's right across the what is that?
The G-Dub.
Yeah, he's right across the
he's
bridge.
He's not going to be happy. So I'm beyond excited. Again, comment down below what your theories are, what you liked about this episode. Have you been watching the episodes and then going back to the previous episodes with a new form of appreciation?
Yeah, I think we need to go back to 1 through 6 and watch it straight through.
I'm down for that.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. Guys, let me tell you something. This episode has been all that and a bag of chips.
All we missing is a whatchamacallit.
Guys, why'd they get rid of whatchamacallit candy bars?
Are they not around?
I don't know. Corey just made me feel old. But you know what, guys?
I know.
It has been real. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. We've got more coming your way.
That's right.
So, guys, until the next time,
keep tripping. Peace.